Most men spend their lives praying for an easier path. They want less resistance, fewer obstacles, and a life free from hardship. But that desire is exactly what keeps them weak. Listen carefully, because this is where most people get it wrong. Life was never designed to make you comfortable. It was designed to test you. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every failure, and every painful setback serves a purpose. The moment life begins to strike you with full force, it reveals something that comfort never could. It reveals who you truly are. You do not discover your strength when everything is going your way. You discover it when everything is falling apart, when people abandon you, when your plans collapse, when the world shows you that loyalty is temporary and respect must be earned. That is when your true character emerges. Machiavelli understood a brutal truth that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Misfortune is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. Every loss carries a lesson. Every betrayal exposes a weakness. Every failure reveals a flaw in your strategy. And once a weakness is exposed, it can be eliminated. The average man allows hardship to break him. He becomes bitter, emotional, and defeated. But the dangerous man sees hardship differently. He studies it. He learns from it. He uses it. Every blow life delivers becomes fuel for his transformation. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every humiliation becomes preparation for future power. This is why the strongest men are rarely those who had easy lives. They are the ones who endured the most pressure and refused to surrender. Remember this: pressure does not destroy a strong man, it creates one. The harder life hits you, the stronger you must become. If that mindset resonates with you, comment below. Pressure creates power, because from this moment forward, you are no longer a victim of hardship, you are its student. Number 2, pain is a weapon if you know how to use it. Most people spend their entire lives trying to escape pain. They distract themselves from it, numb themselves to it, or blame the world for it. They see pain as an enemy that must be avoided at all costs. But that is why they remain fragile. That is why the first serious storm that enters their lives shatters them. What they fail to understand is that pain is not the thing destroying them. Their inability to use it is. Machiavelli understood that adversity reveals more truth than comfort ever could. Comfort hides weakness. Pain exposes it. Comfort feeds illusions. Pain destroys them. And while most people curse the moment their illusions collapse, the wise man recognizes it as the beginning of his transformation. Think about it. Every lesson that truly changed your life came wrapped in suffering. Every betrayal taught you something about trust. Every failure taught you something about preparation. Every humiliation taught you something about pride. Pain has always been speaking to you. The question is whether you have been listening. The dangerous man does not waste suffering. He studies it. He extracts value from it. While others cry over what happened, he asks a different question: what is this experience trying to teach me? That single question separates victims from rulers. Victims focus on the wound. Powerful men focus on the lesson, and lessons become weapons. The man who has been betrayed becomes harder to deceive. The man who has suffered loss becomes harder to intimidate. The man who has survived humiliation becomes harder to control. Every hardship either weakens you or sharpens you. The choice belongs entirely to you. This is why life keeps testing people. It is not because the world is unfair. It is because reality respects strength. And strength cannot be developed through comfort alone. Steel is forged through fire. Diamonds are created under pressure. Powerful men are built through adversity. The more pain you survive, the less the world can threaten you. Eventually, you reach a point where hardship no longer scares you because you understand something most people never learn. Pain is temporary, but the power gained from overcoming it can last a lifetime. If you're still listening, comment below, "My pain has purpose." Because the moment you stop running from pain and start using it, you become far more dangerous than anyone who has lived an easy life. Number 3. The world respects strength, not excuses. There comes a moment in every man's life when he is forced to confront a brutal reality. The world does not care about your excuses. It does not care how unfair your circumstances were. It does not care how many times you were betrayed, rejected, ignored, underestimated, or abandoned. Reality is cold. It does not reward intentions. It rewards results. And the sooner you accept this truth, the sooner you begin to reclaim your power. Most people spend years trapped inside a prison of self-pity. They replay old wounds. They tell themselves stories about why they cannot move forward. They become addicted to explanations. They want sympathy. They want understanding. They want the world to acknowledge their suffering. But Machiavelli understood something few people ever grasp. Sympathy is cheap. Power is valuable. The world may feel sorry for you for a moment, but it will respect you only when you become strong enough to rise above your circumstances. Think about the men history remembers. They were not remembered because life was easy. They were remembered because they endured what would have broken weaker men. Every great leader, every conqueror, every powerful figure faced humiliation, setbacks, failures, enemies, and moments of crushing uncertainty. The difference is that they refused to let those experiences define them. They understood that suffering is inevitable, but remaining weak is a choice. This is where most people lose the battle. They mistake emotional relief for progress. They talk endlessly about their problems, but never develop the discipline required to solve them. They complain instead of adapting. They blame instead of improving. They wait instead of acting. And while they are waiting for perfect conditions, stronger men are building themselves in the shadows. Stronger men are sharpening their minds. Stronger men are learning from every mistake and turning every setback into an advantage. A Machiavellian mindset demands something different from you. It demands accountability. It demands that you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What must I become to overcome this?" That question changes everything. Because the moment you take responsibility for your future, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become an architect of your destiny. The truth is simple. Nobody is coming to save you. No mentor will appear at the perfect moment. No miracle will suddenly erase your struggles. Your future will be built by your own decisions, your own discipline, and your own willingness to endure discomfort longer than others. That is why hardship is such a powerful filter. It separates those who seek excuses from those who seek strength. Remember this. Every challenge life places in front of you is asking the same question. Will you break or will you evolve? The weak man searches for reasons to quit. The powerful man searches for reasons to continue. One becomes forgotten, the other becomes unstoppable. If you refuse to let circumstances define you, comment below, "I become stronger." Because the moment you stop demanding fairness from life and start demanding greatness from yourself, you begin transforming into a man the world cannot ignore. Number 4, betrayal is the price of seeing people clearly. One of the hardest lessons life will ever teach you is that not everyone who stands beside you is with you. Some people walk next to you because they benefit from your presence. Some stay because you are useful. Some remain loyal only as long as circumstances are convenient. And the moment life changes, the moment your value appears to decline, the moment hardship enters your world, their masks begin to fall. This realization hurts. In fact, betrayal often creates a deeper wound than failure itself. Failure attacks your plans. Betrayal attacks your trust. But if you understand it correctly, betrayal can become one of the greatest sources of wisdom you will ever experience. Machiavelli understood human nature better than most. He knew that people are driven by self-interest far more often than they are driven by loyalty. This does not mean everyone is evil. It means everyone has motives, everyone has desires, everyone has limits to what they are willing to sacrifice. The problem is that most people create fantasy versions of others inside their minds. They assume loyalty where loyalty has never been tested. They assume commitment where commitment has never been proven. Then, when reality finally reveals the truth, they feel shocked. But the truth was always there. They simply chose not to see it. This is why betrayal, while painful, is valuable. It removes illusions. It forces you to stop judging people by their words and start judging them by their actions. Anyone can promise loyalty when times are good. Anyone can speak beautiful words when there is no cost attached. But pressure reveals character, scarcity reveals character, difficulty reveals character. When life becomes hard, you discover who genuinely stands beside you and who was only enjoying the benefits of your success. The weak man allows betrayal to turn him bitter. He begins to hate everyone. He trusts no one. He carries old wounds into every new relationship. But the powerful man learns a different lesson. He becomes observant, not bitter. He becomes wiser, not colder. He understands that trust should be earned slowly and given carefully. He stops expecting perfection from people because he understands human nature. Instead of becoming emotional, he becomes strategic. Every betrayal gives you information. Information about people. Information about yourself. Information about the blind spots that made you vulnerable. And information is power. The man who learns from betrayal becomes far more difficult to manipulate in the future. He sees motives others miss. He notices patterns others ignore. He develops a calm awareness that protects him from repeating the same mistakes. Remember this, some people enter your life to support your growth. Others enter your life to teach you caution. Both serve a purpose. Do not curse every betrayal. Study it, learn from it, use it. Because every mask that falls brings you closer to reality, and reality is where true power begins. If you've ever turned betrayal into strength, comment below. I learn, I adapt, I rise. Because the strongest men are not those who were never betrayed. They are the ones who refused to let betrayal destroy them and instead used it to see the world exactly as it is. Number 5. Emotional control is the highest form of power. If life has been hitting you hard, there is one skill that will determine whether you rise above it or get crushed beneath it. It is not intelligence. It is not talent. It is not even physical strength. It is emotional control, the ability to remain calm when others panic, the ability to think clearly when others become overwhelmed, the ability to maintain discipline when every emotion inside you is demanding immediate reaction. This is where true power begins. Most people are controlled by their emotions without even realizing it. Their anger controls their decisions. Their fear controls their actions. Their insecurity controls their relationships. Their need for validation controls their behavior. They believe they are making choices, but in reality, they are being pulled in every direction by emotions they have never learned to master. And because of this, they become predictable, easy to manipulate, easy to provoke, easy to defeat. Machiavelli understood that the person who controls himself becomes far more dangerous than the person who tries to control everyone else. Why? Because self-mastery creates clarity. When you are no longer a prisoner of anger, fear, envy, or desperation, you begin seeing situations exactly as they are. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. That single shift changes everything. Think about how many people destroy their own lives because they cannot control a temporary emotion. One moment of anger destroys a relationship. One moment of insecurity ruins an opportunity. One moment of fear prevents a life-changing decision. One moment of ego turns an ally into an enemy. Entire futures are lost because people allow emotions to take command of their actions. The strongest men understand something different. They understand that emotions are information, not instructions. Feeling anger does not mean you should act on it. Feeling fear does not mean you should obey it. Feeling sadness does not mean you should surrender to it. Emotions are signals. They reveal what is happening inside you, but they should never become the ruler of your behavior. This is why adversity is such a powerful teacher. Hardship forces emotional growth. Every betrayal tests your patience. Every failure tests your confidence. Every setback tests your discipline. Life continuously asks the same question. Can you remain composed when everything around you is chaotic? Most people fail this test. They react impulsively. They speak too soon. They reveal too much. They allow temporary emotions to create permanent consequences. The dangerous man does the opposite. When attacked, he remains calm. When insulted, he remains observant. When challenged, he remains focused. While others are consumed by emotion, he is gathering information. While others are losing control, he is gaining advantage. This is why calmness often intimidates people more than aggression. Aggression is predictable. Calmness is difficult to read, and what cannot be easily read cannot be easily controlled. Remember this carefully. The world will always contain chaos. There will always be difficult people, unexpected setbacks, disappointments, and moments of uncertainty. You cannot control all of them, but you can control yourself. And once you master yourself, something remarkable happens. Life loses much of its power to disturb you. The same problems that once shattered your confidence become challenges you can calmly navigate. The same situations that once triggered emotional reactions become opportunities to demonstrate strength. The harder life hits you, the more valuable emotional control becomes. Because every time you refuse to react emotionally, you strengthen your mind. Every time you remain disciplined under pressure, you build resilience. Every time you choose strategy over impulse, you move one step closer to becoming untouchable. If you're committed to mastering yourself before mastering the world, comment below, "My mind is my fortress," because the man who conquers his emotions possesses a form of power that no enemy, no betrayal, and no hardship can ever take away. Number 6. The man who endures becomes unbreakable. There is a reason life keeps returning to the same lesson over and over again. It is trying to teach you endurance, not excitement, not comfort, not temporary motivation, endurance. Because motivation disappears when conditions become difficult, excitement fades when progress slows, but endurance remains. Endurance is what carries a man through the darkest periods of his life, when there is no applause, no recognition, no guarantee of success, and no visible reward for his efforts. It is during those moments that true strength is built. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a few days and underestimate what they can become through years of relentless persistence. They want immediate results, immediate respect, immediate success, immediate transformation. But reality does not work that way. Reality rewards those who continue moving forward long after everyone else has given up. This is why the world is full of talented people who never achieve greatness and ordinary people who eventually become extraordinary. Talent can create opportunity, but endurance creates destiny. Machiavelli understood that power is rarely won through a single victory. Power is accumulated through consistency, through patience, through the ability to remain focused while others become distracted. While weaker minds are chasing comfort, the disciplined man is building capacity. While others are seeking shortcuts, he is developing resilience. While others are quitting because the journey has become difficult, he continues forward one step at a time. And this is where life separates men into two categories. The first category contains those who collapse when pressure arrives. The second contains those who adapt to pressure until pressure becomes normal. Think about that. What once felt unbearable eventually becomes manageable. What once felt impossible eventually becomes routine. The burdens that would have crushed the old version of you become weights the stronger version carries without complaint. This is how resilience is built. Not through theory, not through reading, through exposure, through repetition, through surviving what you once believed would destroy you. Look back at your own life. The challenges that once kept you awake at night. The setbacks that felt catastrophic. The disappointments that convinced you everything was over. Most of them have already passed. And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. The fact that you survived those experiences proves something important. You are stronger than you think, much stronger. But most people never recognize their own strength because they remain focused on their scars rather than the endurance those scars represent. The dangerous man understands that every hardship survived becomes evidence. Evidence that he can endure more. Evidence that he can adapt faster. Evidence that future obstacles are not as intimidating as they appear. This creates a powerful form of confidence. Not the shallow confidence built on compliments or success. Real confidence. The confidence that comes from surviving difficult realities. The confidence that says, I have been through worse, and I will survive this too. That is why resilient people become difficult to intimidate. Life has already tested them. They have already experienced failure. They have already tasted rejection. They have already survived betrayal. The things that terrify others have become familiar territory. And familiarity removes fear. When you repeatedly endure discomfort, discomfort loses its ability to control you. Many people spend their lives searching for a secret formula to become stronger. There is no secret formula. The process is brutally simple. Face the challenge, endure the pain, learn the lesson, adapt, repeat, again and again and again. Over time, something remarkable happens. The person who once felt fragile becomes resilient. The person who once felt uncertain becomes confident. The person who once looked for rescue becomes self-reliant. This is why hardship is not your enemy. Hardship is your training ground. Every difficult season is preparing you for responsibilities, opportunities, and challenges that weaker versions of yourself could never handle. The problem is that most people quit before the transformation occurs. They leave the battlefield before discovering how strong they were becoming. Do not make that mistake. Keep going. Even when progress feels invisible, even when nobody understands your struggle, even when the results arrive slower than expected. Because every day you endure what others avoid, you are building something they will never possess. An unbreakable foundation, a mind that remains steady under pressure, a character that cannot be bought, manipulated, or shaken by temporary circumstances. And eventually, life notices. Not because life is fair, but because reality rewards those who refuse to surrender. If you are committed to becoming the man who endures no matter what, comment below, I will not break. Because the harder life pushes against you, the stronger your foundation becomes. And the man who refuses to break eventually becomes the man who cannot be stopped. Number 7. Stop seeking fairness, start seeking power. One of the most liberating moments in a man's life occurs when he finally stops expecting the world to be fair. Not because he has become cynical, not because he has lost hope, but because he has accepted reality. And reality is this: life does not distribute rewards based on effort alone. It does not guarantee success to the good, protection to the honest, or victory to the deserving. Sometimes dishonest people win. Sometimes loyal people get betrayed. Sometimes hardworking people struggle while less deserving individuals advance. This has always been true, and it will continue to be true long after you are gone. The problem is that most people spend years fighting reality instead of adapting to it. They become trapped in a cycle of frustration because they constantly ask, why is this happening? They demand fairness from a world that never promised it. They waste valuable energy complaining about circumstances they cannot control. And while they are busy arguing with reality, stronger individuals are learning how to operate within it. Machiavelli understood that power begins where illusions end. The moment you stop expecting fairness, you become free to focus on what actually matters. Influence, strategy, discipline, adaptability, strength. These are the qualities that allow a man to navigate an imperfect world successfully. Complaints create nothing. Resentment changes nothing. But personal power changes everything. Think carefully about the moments when life hurt you the most. Was it really the event itself that caused the deepest pain? Or was it the belief that the event should not have happened? Often, suffering becomes unbearable because reality collides with expectation. You expected loyalty and received betrayal. You expected effort to guarantee success. You expected honesty to be rewarded. When reality failed to match the story in your head, frustration appeared. The powerful man learns a different approach. He replaces expectation with preparation. Instead of assuming loyalty, he observes character. Instead of expecting success, he prepares for obstacles. Instead of demanding fairness, he develops resilience. This mindset does not make him negative. It makes him effective, because while others are shocked by adversity, he is ready for it. This is one of the hidden advantages of hardship. Hardship strips away illusions. It teaches you that life can be unpredictable, unfair, and difficult. But it also teaches you that you are capable of adapting. Every challenge survived becomes proof that your strength does not depend on perfect circumstances. It depends on your response. The world respects those who can adapt faster than circumstances change. That is why powerful people rarely waste time complaining. They understand that energy is a resource. Every minute spent blaming reality is a minute stolen from improvement. Every hour spent resenting the past is an hour not invested in building the future. The disciplined man guards his attention carefully because he knows that attention becomes action and action becomes destiny. There is another truth most people avoid. Fairness is often used as an excuse for inaction. People tell themselves they cannot move forward because someone treated them unfairly. They cannot succeed because the system is unfair. They cannot trust because they were betrayed. They cannot take risks because life disappointed them before. These stories may contain elements of truth, but they still create weakness. Why? Because they place control outside the individual. The moment you place responsibility for your future into someone else's hands, you surrender power, and power surrendered is rarely returned. The strongest men refuse to give others that authority. They acknowledge reality, no matter how unpleasant it may be, and then they ask the only question that matters: what can I do now? That question pulls attention away from helplessness and directs it toward action. Remember this: life does not owe you fairness. It does not owe you comfort. It does not owe you understanding. But it does offer opportunity to those willing to become stronger. Every hardship can become wisdom. Every setback can become preparation. Every disappointment can become fuel. The choice is yours. You can spend your life waiting for the world to become fair, or you can become so strong that fairness is no longer required. That is the mindset of a man who cannot be controlled, a man who cannot be manipulated by disappointment, a man who cannot be stopped by circumstances, because he understands that while he may not control everything that happens to him, he always controls who he becomes because of it. If you're done waiting for fairness and ready to build strength, comment below. I create my own advantage. Because the moment you stop asking life to be easier and start demanding more from yourself, you begin stepping into a level of power that very few people will ever reach. Number 8, your greatest advantage is that you kept going. There is something powerful that happens when a man survives enough battles. Not physical battles, life battles, the kind that leave scars no one can see, the kind that test your faith, your patience, your discipline, and your identity. At first, those battles seem like punishment. They seem like obstacles standing between you and the life you want. But eventually, if you pay attention, you begin to realize something extraordinary. The very things you thought were holding you back were actually building you into someone stronger than you could have become any other way. Most people underestimate the value of survival. They focus only on what they lost. They focus on the opportunities that disappeared, the relationships that ended, the failures that embarrassed them, and the dreams that did not unfold according to plan. They measure life by what is missing. But powerful men measure life differently. They look at what remains. They look at what endured. They look at the strength they gained while surviving difficult seasons, because survival itself is evidence of growth. Think about the version of yourself that existed years ago, the person you were before life started testing you, before the disappointments, before the betrayals, before the failures, before the moments that forced you to question everything. Would that version of you be able to handle the challenges you face today? Probably not, because strength is not inherited. It is earned. Every difficult experience expanded your capacity. Every setback increased your resilience. Every obstacle forced you to develop skills, awareness, and discipline you previously lacked. This is one of the great ironies of life. The experiences that hurt the most often create the greatest transformation. The moments that seem unfair often become the moments that shape your character. The pain you wanted to avoid becomes the source of your power. And yet most people never recognize this because they remain trapped in regret. They keep looking backward instead of recognizing who they have become. Machiavelli understood that survival is never accidental. Survival requires adaptation, and adaptation is one of the highest forms of intelligence. The man who adapts to hardship becomes increasingly difficult to defeat because every challenge expands his understanding of reality. Every setback teaches him something valuable. Every obstacle reveals a new strategy. While others remain fragile because they have avoided adversity, he becomes resilient because he has faced it directly. There is also another truth you must understand. Many people will never see the battles you fought. They will never understand the sacrifices you made. They will never appreciate the nights you spent struggling, doubting, rebuilding, and pushing forward when quitting would have been easier. And that is perfectly fine. Your strength does not require their recognition. Your growth does not depend on their approval. The strongest men in the world are often carrying victories that nobody else knows about. That is why you must stop measuring your progress against other people. Stop comparing your journey to theirs. You have survived things they never faced. You have learned lessons they never had to learn. Your path has created a different kind of strength, a deeper strength, a quieter strength, the kind that cannot be faked because it was forged through real adversity. Remember this, the fact that you are still here matters. The fact that you kept moving forward matters. The fact that you refused to surrender when life became difficult matters. Every time you got back up after being knocked down, you built something inside yourself that cannot be purchased, borrowed, or inherited. You built resilience. You built character. You built an inner foundation that becomes stronger with every challenge overcome. If you've made it this far and refused to quit, comment below, "I am still standing." Because sometimes your greatest advantage is not talent, luck, or opportunity. Sometimes your greatest advantage is simply this: life tried to break you, and you kept going anyway. Number 9. Become the storm life cannot shake. There comes a point in every man's journey when survival is no longer enough. Surviving hardship is important. Enduring pain is important. Learning from betrayal, failure, and disappointment is important. But eventually, a transformation must occur. You must stop seeing yourself as someone who is merely surviving life's storms and begin becoming the storm itself. This is where ordinary resilience evolves into true power. Most people spend their entire lives reacting. They react to criticism. They react to setbacks. They react to rejection. They react to circumstances. Their emotional state changes with every event around them. If things go well, they feel strong. If things go badly, they feel defeated. Their identity is constantly being shaped by external forces. And because of that, they never develop genuine stability. They become leaves carried by the wind, moving wherever circumstances push them. But the man who has been tested by life enough times eventually discovers something profound. Strength is not the absence of difficulty. Strength is remaining unchanged by difficulty. The strongest men are not those who never face chaos. They are the ones who remain centered while chaos surrounds them. Their confidence is not built upon success. Their confidence is built upon certainty in themselves. They know they can adapt. They know they can recover. They know they can endure. And because they know this, fear begins to lose its grip. Machiavelli understood that power belongs to those who maintain composure when others lose theirs. In moments of crisis, most people become emotional. They panic, they rush decisions, they expose weaknesses, they reveal fears. But the disciplined man becomes even calmer. While others are distracted by emotion, he is analyzing reality. While others are overwhelmed by uncertainty, he is identifying opportunities. This is why difficult situations often create advantages for those who possess self-control. Chaos becomes their battlefield, and composure becomes their weapon. The harder life hits you, the more important this lesson becomes, because eventually life stops testing your ability to endure pain and starts testing your ability to remain focused despite pain. Anyone can remain strong for a day. Few can remain disciplined for years. Anyone can stay motivated for a week. Few can stay committed when results are invisible. That is why true power belongs to the consistent, not the intense. The man who quietly continues his mission while others become distracted will always have an advantage. Look at nature. The tallest trees survive storms not because they fight the wind, but because their roots run deep. The same principle applies to you. The deeper your values, the deeper your discipline, and the deeper your self-mastery, the harder it becomes for external circumstances to move you. People may betray you. Challenges may appear. Plans may fail. But your foundation remains intact, and a man with a strong foundation becomes extraordinarily difficult to defeat. This is the ultimate goal of hardship, not to hurt you, not to punish you, but to force you to build a foundation strong enough to withstand reality. Every setback was strengthening your roots. Every disappointment was teaching detachment. Every challenge was building resilience. Every difficult season was preparing you to carry greater responsibility and greater power. So stop asking when life will become easier. Ask instead how much stronger you can become. Because there is no limit to the strength that can be developed through discipline, awareness, and endurance. The man who embraces hardship eventually reaches a point where obstacles no longer discourage him. They challenge him, they sharpen him, they reveal how far he has come. If this message speaks to you, comment below, "I am the storm." Because when life realizes it can no longer break your spirit, no longer control your emotions, and no longer shake your foundation, something remarkable happens. You stop surviving the storm, and you become the force that moves through it.